Hey folks, everything new under the sun. I don't know if you've heard this one before. This may be new to a bunch of you. This is on debka.com, debka.com, a military analyst website. This is dated February 6th, 2023. Russia and Iran to co-produce 6,000 new fast kamikaze super drones. Now, what is this for? Well, in Ukraine, Russia is using Iranian drones, and they're being shot down in many cases. About one of every two drones that go into Ukraine are shot down by the air defense systems that Ukraine has. And Russia wants to make this a lot better. This is too much of a fatality rate for drones. A high-powered delegation, Iranian delegation, landed secretly in the town of Yelabuga in Russia on January 5th, ready to meet with Russian demand for a new super drone for the Ukraine war that would outperform in speed and silent operation of the Shahed 136 hitherto supplied by Iran. The Russians complained that the Ukrainian air defenses had already downed 540 of the 1,000 UAVs that were deployed in the war already. What was needed was a model drone able to carry forward Russia's military operations in Ukraine with substantially less losses. And of course, these drones are a lot cheaper than sending fighter jets in there, a lot less of an escalation because it's kind of allowed by the countries of the world, the militaries of the world, to send drones back and forth, and no one really cares. And as long as you're not killing civilians, it doesn't seem to rise to the level of the attention of the populations of either country enough to start, an overt war. That situation is in Israel, Iran, where again, as long as Iranians aren't killed, then the countries don't go to overt war. Same with Israel. But if drones are shot back and forth and covert operations, well, that's good. That's kind of the new style of war 2.0. It's all about proxy war, and that's exactly what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, where it's a proxy war between the United States and Russia. So they're planning for these faster drones that can maybe get out of the way of the air defense systems and fly around them, kamikaze super drones. This means that if Israel attacks Iran and attacks Iran's drone facilities, that Russia is going to be upset. Is there a hook in the jaw, something that draws the nations to the north down to Israel to battle against them and to take a spoil? There certainly is. There certainly is something that draws Russia in, and it could be Israel taking out drone factories in Iran, which Russia needs to battle the United States effectively in Ukraine. So wouldn't this be a good opportunity for Russia to say, hey, you're taking out our supply of drones. We're going to go in there and take a spoil. Did you know what? Ezekiel 38:39 also appear to happen at a time when there's economic collapse and at a time when the United States is not strong anymore. Does the United States start losing the war in Ukraine? They're removed as a world superpower. Israel then goes after the drone facilities, drone manufacturing facilities, and takes away some of Russia's power. Russia doesn't like that, and so they march on Israel. Well, you have this situation happening in Ezekiel 38 and 39. At the top there, you can see Ezekiel 38, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof. Now, the young lions, Tarshish, or I believe it refers to like tin, as in Britain. It was known for tin, merchants of tin. And so that whole area, Britain, UK, I guess, was part of the merchants of Tarshish. And then the young lions of Tarshish, then people speculate, well, that refers to, the United States for one, Canada, Australia, the nations that have been born out of kind of British citizens moving abroad and starting other nations. So the young lions. And so what are the young lions saying? Well, you could say, if the United States is one of these young lions, then they're effectively asking the invading countries, the hooks in the jaw, part of the hooks in the jaw, which is that white line at the bottom there, the turning back and the putting hooks in the jaw of the nations to the north, Russia, the land of Gog and Magog. And the young lions are saying, "Art thou come to take a spoil?" They're just asking. They're talking seemingly in the United Nations. Maybe they're having the United Nations emergency meeting because of the invasion of Israel by this force. And they're saying, "Have you come to take a spoil? Have you gathered all your company to take a prey, to take away the valuable things in Israel? Have you come to take away the food and the goods, and to take a great spoil, to steal everything that Israel has?" Well, again, this is kind of speaking of a time when maybe these young lions don't have the ability to actually attack or do anything or help Israel at that point in time. So they're simply saying that, and that suggests that the United States maybe is taking a back seat in end time Bible prophecy. In Ezekiel 38, they have no strength. They cannot battle directly. They're just asking a bunch of questions at the United Nations meeting while Russia is marching on Israel. And they're effectively describing a time when it appears Russia needs money, Russia needs food. Is that at a time of complete economic collapse and famine? Maybe that comes after World War III starts, and maybe the U.S. loses, but the war is still battling, and the world has been taken to its knees in terms of financial collapse and absolute famine and starvation is happening. And so Russia moves on Israel, which seems to be blessed at this point in time. And of course, Israel then is taking out Iranian forces and manufacturing facilities, which weakens Russia further, which Russia needs to continue this war. And so they're taking money, they're taking goods during this time. So there's a lot of little bits and pieces in here. And Ezekiel 38 verse 4 at the bottom says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." And it's been great speculation as to what those hooks are. What draws Russia into a battle against Israel? And when you look at an article like this, Russia cooperating with Iran for 6,000 super drones. Now, some of these factors are going to be in Russia, but certainly if Israel starts striking these, and they have been, because they're being used against Israel themselves, then Russia's going to say, you know what, we want these drones from Iran. We need to protect Iran, protect our military manufacturing. Therefore, because Israel is attacking Iran, we're going to go after Israel. And again, you talk about the hooks in the jaw. What are they? Maybe it's a whole pile of things, a basket of things, and this is just one more thing. So this is a big deal, and these drones are really being used. U.S. is, calling for Israel to join the fight to provide Iron Dome defense systems for Ukraine, and likely there's going to be an ask on the backside that we will never hear about, maybe for Israel to take out manufacturing facilities of these drones so that Russia can't start buying a lot of these, and maybe take out the scientific leads and the people who are in charge of this program, so that the program falls on its face and they can't produce these. These conversations have already been had. This is not a new thing to anybody in the military establishment. And so likely conversations have been had with Israel to say, you know what, go after these things because Russia needs them for the war in Ukraine. And again, we talk about the hooks in the jaws. We don't know what they are, but this could very well be one of them. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you heard of this before? And could this be a hook in the jaw? I think we're getting very, very close to the time. I think Ezekiel 38 and 39 is very telling of what the world is like at the point in time when this happens, and this could be all converging at the point of declaration of World War III and the dropping of nuclear weapons. That would crash the stock markets. It would be Depression 2.0. Great Depression 2.0, Greatest Depression, and there would be famine because world supply chains would absolutely collapse, and they are collapsing right now as we speak. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.